Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. It's getting a little bit cold out here, about 63 degrees. It's freezing in South Florida at least. Don't hate, come down, move down. Anyways guys, I hope you're enjoying your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, maybe something harder. Depends on what part of the planet you're on, as I always say. Today, we're going to be talking about a brand new flash that's coming out, and it's by Godox. And I really like the Godox brand, and I want to talk to you a little bit about it. And it really has to do with, do you really need to purchase a manufacturer flash, or can you use a third party? And I want to get into that a little bit. We're going to look at some of the specs. You know, I don't like specs too much, but we have to talk about it so you know the difference between some of the flashes that are out there currently and flash that just came out by Godox. And it's not out as of yet on B&H or on Adorama. It doesn't show a price or anything, but I found a price and I got you a link. So if you want to pick one up, I have a direct link for all of the iterations of it, from Canon to Sony to Nikon to Panasonic to Fuji, whatever. They have one for each individual brand, specific for that brand. But before we get into this, I want to say two things. Number one, if you haven't downloaded my ebook as of yet, go check it out over at JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. That's number one. Number two, I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. It has been 17 days, I think now, that I've been growing this beard for the fundraiser, right? No Shave November, men's health, right? Men's health awareness. Testicular cancer, prostate cancer, mental health issues, everything for men. So it's been going really well. I decided to take all of the monies, the fundraiser, and send it to the kids. So the fundraiser that is currently going, you can see a little button over here. It says donate. I think it's in blue. That's been going now for 17 days, and I had a goal of $500. And when I just looked, I think it was yesterday, that $500 mark has been broken. I think we're over $600 now, getting close to $700. I'm overwhelmed. I think that is just awesome. Absolutely awesome. If you don't know, this fundraiser is for St. Jude's, and that is a children's cancer research hospital. And what St. Jude's Hospital does a little bit differently is the families do not have to pay a dime. So there's nothing out of pocket. And what I also like about it is that not only do they treat the children, but since it is a research hospital, it'll help prevent child cancers in the future and other ailments. So I just absolutely love that organization. I've been contributing to the organization basically all my life, since I was making money. So anyways, thank you so much for contributing. If you haven't yet and you would like to, click this little blue box over here that says donate, and you would be able to donate to it. So now getting right into it, Godox is coming out with a brand new flash, and it is the TT685 Mark II. And I want to tell you what the differences are between the Mark I and the Mark II, the brand new one that's coming out, price differences, and also I want to do a comparison between what you're getting for that price in comparison to, for example, Nikon. Just a couple of videos ago, people were like, you know, you're kind of crapping on Nikon, and maybe they're going to get rid of their flash line and all of this stuff. And I seriously thought, and still do, that they might get rid of the SB line. So I was thinking, well, maybe they're going to get rid of the SB line and get together and have some type of agreement with Profoto as well as Nissan that make flashes specifically for Nikon as well as Canon and all the rest. And maybe get some kind of agreement, something penned down black and white that will give them a kickback for sales or who knows what. I want to show you what, for example, this Godox have in comparison to like an SB 5000 and do this kind of A-B comparison. They're not identical, but they're pretty close. And the price difference is where really just things get crazy. So to begin with, let's just check out the specs when it comes to the TT6 TT685 compared to the TT685 Mark II, the latest Godox. So when we look at the old one, we see that it has a built-in 2.4 gigahertz wireless system. That's great, a great radio for receiving as well as transmitting, as well as it is compatible with TTL, ETTL, as well as TTL2 when it comes to Canon. Also, we have a guide number of 197. That is 197 foot at ISO 100. That is pretty good. And I'm going to show you why in just a second. That is really pretty good. Also, we have a zoom range of 20 to 200. That is at 14 millimeter with panel, as well as a tilt from -7 to +90 degrees, and a rotation, that's a horizontal rotation, of 180 degrees. It also has wireless master as well as slave built into it for TTL functionality, and a recycle time of either 0.1 seconds to a maximum of 2.6 seconds. That depends on how much of a load you're putting on it. Are you going to shoot at, let's say, half power? Are you going to shoot at full power? Or maybe only 128th the power? Whatever you decide on will determine how long it takes for the flash to recycle. Now, it also will do up to 100 consecutive flashes. Now, once again, 100 consecutive shots basically means that at the lowest setting of 1/128th, that's what you're going to get out of it, about 100 shots before it's going to start overheating. Now, if you're dumping full load shots at, let's say, full strength, it might be maybe 10 shots where you're going to have to pull back and slow down not to overheat the gear. This happens with all flash. Now, the next thing is it does high speed first curtain as well as second curtain sync. It also runs on 4 AA batteries, and the cost is about $100. Now, that was released in 2017, so it is now 4 years old. So they were due a new model, and the new model, once again, is here. Well, in some places. And like I said, I'll give you a link where you can get it. Now, those are the old specs for the old version of the TT685. Now, the TT685 Mark II, the only thing that has really changed here, everything that I told you stays the same. The difference is when it comes to tilt, it will tilt from -7 all the way to +120. So instead of 90 degrees, we're getting all the way up to 120. That's really nice. I like to be able to bounce things a little bit crazy, and the added distance or the added degrees of 30 degrees is good for me. I like that. Also, when it comes to the horizontal rotation from left to right, instead of 180 degrees left to right, it now will do 330 degrees. So you're talking about almost full 360. That's cool. Once again, I love doing really creative bounce techniques to get some really nice flash. That's the way I work, so the more rotation, the better when it comes to me. The one other thing that they added is this TCM. And I'm like, what the hell is this TCM? Basically what it says that it provides instant conversion from TTL to manual mode. Now, how they word it is, it says that this function helps you lock the proper exposure value and is useful for quickly determining a good starting point for setting external flash units in manual mode. So the way I look at this, it's kind of like holding out a Sekonic, like a light meter, to find out what the light is, what is your exposure, and then you can set everything. I'm going to guess the way this works is once you get one set, you can probably sync it with all of your groups. And I'm going to get into that right now. You're going to be able to use, just like a lot of the flashes out there, 4 different groups. So you have group A, B, C, and D. That's good. Also, it will allow for 32 channels. That's a lot of channels, and 100, or let's call it 99 IDs. So each unit will be different. That is great. So you'll be able to put together a barrage of these things. And at their cost, you could, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. It also provides USB-C so that you can sync this with, let's say, a software firmware update right from your computer right into the flash. That's really cool. The other thing that I like is that it will be able to accept external power through their PB960, I think it's called. Basically, it is an external lithium battery that will give your Godox, whatever it is, a ton of power. So if you're a wedding professional, or if you're on location for an extended period of time, and you need to shoot 500 shots or 1,000 shots, and you don't want to keep on replacing these AA batteries, that is the way to go, an external battery pack. I believe this unit will allow you to shoot up to about 330 shots on 4 fully loaded AA batteries. So that's pretty good, 330 shots. But if you add that lithium battery, you're gonna take that clear up to 1,000 shots, most likely. Maybe even more, depends on what load you're putting on them. Are they full dumps? Or are they half or eighth or 1/37, whatever it is. So that's going to determine how many shots you're gonna be able to get out of it. So a lot of you guys are gonna say, well, what the hell's the price, right? So it's $99 for the old one. The new one, if you go to B&H or if you go to Adorama, there's no price because it's not available as of yet. But the price will be $129. Once again, I'll give you a link for that. So $129 for this. Now, how does this compare to, for example, a Nikon SB5000? All right, let's just look at it. Now, when we look at the Nikon, you're looking at a guide number of 113 feet, right? 113 feet at a ISO 100. The Godox is sitting at 197 feet. Also, when it comes to the zoom, the Godox will do from 20 millimeters up to 200 millimeters, whereas the SB5000 will do 24 up to 200. So a little bit tighter, not as wide as the Godox. That's number 2. Also, your tilt. The tilt on the SB5000 is the same as the old version of the Godox, which is that -7 to 90 degrees, whereas the new Godox now is taking you all the way up to 120 degrees. That is nice. I like that. That extra tilt to me is fantastic. Now also when it comes to your rotation on the SB5000 is 180 degrees, just like the old version of the Godox, whereas the new Godox will give you, instead of 180 degrees, 330 degrees. Once again, that is awesome. Now, as far as the rest of the functionality with TTL and all the rest, everything else remains the same. The difference here is that not only is the Godox the brand new 685 Mark II, a brand new unit for 2021, the cost difference is just ridiculous. You're looking at $129 for the TT685, the Godox, or $600 for the SB5000. $129 to $600. That is a massive difference for basically a unit that is the same. And actually, the Godox is better according to specs. Now, let me just say that a couple of colleagues of mine shot with Godox way when they first came out, and I would have to say they weren't great. The feel of them, the refinement, it felt a little bit more cheap, less professional, less rugged, let's say, in comparison to a Canon Speedlight or an SB5000, let's call it. But as of today, the latest and greatest Godox, they are literally almost identical. They feel really rugged, they're heavy, they have a good solid build to them, they don't feel chintzy of any kind. It is awesome. Once again, you're looking at $129 to $600. You're talking about a flash that is built in 2021, brand new, compared to an SB5000 built 5 years ago, in like 2016, I believe. So there's a disparity there. Now, if we look at a brand new Canon offering, yes, they do have a 2021 offering out there, which is their Speedlight EL1. But guys, that flash is $1,000. Not $129, $1,000. And it basically does the same damn thing. So, this goes full circle back to what I was saying with Nikon and them possibly doing away with flashes. Because it doesn't make a lot of sense to put a flash out there that's $600 or $1,000 when a third party is able to do it for $100. Think about on the Canon side. You buy one Canon flash for $1,000. You could buy, let's say, 8 of these flashes. And I don't care if one goes bad, you chuck it in the garbage, you got another one. You could chuck that in the garbage, you got another one, chuck it again and chuck it again 8 times if you wanted to. Or you could do some really creative things like what I like to do. A lot of times when I'm doing portrait shoots, when they're not in studio, where I'm using an aperture or alien bees or something like that, when I'm out on location, I will use sometimes 4 up to 6 flash. That is a lot, but it just is easy. You sync them all up. You can set them all from the camera. You don't even have to go to the different flashes. Set them up on sticks and call it a day, right? Each one has their own power pack. You don't have to worry about playing around with double A's. It is a really nice way to do a mobile studio. Well, imagine for a grand, you do 8 of these things. You got stuff everywhere. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff. So to me, looking at the pricing, looking at where Godox has come from and where they are today, and the quality that they're able to now produce for $100, I mean, I don't get it. I think that we're going to see a lot more photographers now that times are a little bit tougher than they were 10 years ago. We are now in this era where we're looking for really good ROI, return on investment. We're looking for good value. If the gear doesn't have a good value, we're not buying it. I don't care what it is. We got to say, this is the amount of money that we want to spend and we want to get the most out of it. And when I see a third party like Godox and what they're able to achieve at like 1/8 of the cost to Canon, I mean, it's very hard, I think, for anyone to say, yeah, I want to go buy 4 Canon flashes for $4,000 compared to 4 of these for $500. You know, it just doesn't make sense. So once again, full circle, I think that if you haven't looked at the Godox brand, take a look at them. I personally shoot Canon. Now, when I buy the next flash, when one goes bad, I am not going to repair it. Some of these flashes are old, like 550s. You can't even repair them. But even the newer ones that you can, I'm going to just simply, instead of spending $100 in repair, I'm going to buy one of these. That is it. I'm going to move on because to me, seeing colleagues use them and seeing what they're getting out of them and how long they're lasting, there is no reason to buy manufacturer brand anymore. There's no reason to do it. So I want to know your thoughts. Do you use a Godox or maybe a Nissan or some type of Profoto? What do you use as a flash? What kind of pricing? Do you think that it's wise to go to a non-manufacturer flash or stick with manufacturer? I want to hear from you. It's the same thing when it comes to lenses. A lot of lenses that I purchase, they are now third party. I get a lot of Tamron glass. I have, of course, a ton, tens of thousands of dollars of Canon glass. But a lot of the new lenses that I'm bringing in are like Tamron, Sigma. They make really good lenses for the price. Once again, value, your ROI, your return on investment. So what do you guys think? In the comment area below this video, put your thoughts. What do you think about Godox? Have you ever used Godox product? What do you think about them? Do you think that this is a flash that you might get into? The brand new TT685 Mark II. Let me know. Once again, down below in the description as well as the pinned comment, I'm going to put links to, I'm going to try to find all of them, but definitely Canon, Nikon, also I believe Panasonic, Fuji, their specific TT685 Mark IIs, the brand new ones, the ones that are $129. I'm going to put direct links for those. So if you want to click on those, go check them out. You can do so. Once again, I thank you so much for your donations by clicking that blue button over there. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you're not ready to subscribe. Click the little bell icon over here so when I go live, you'll be notified of it immediately. Also, throw this video a thumbs up if you got any kind of value out of it. That would be really appreciated. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it. I'm out of here. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.